Good afternoon. Welcome to the cruise, amigos. I'm on location in Galveston, Texas. I'm sitting here at the Jiggers Restaurant and Bar at the Holiday Inn Express on the beach in Galveston. Over here to my, let's see, no, that's this way. Oh, my fingers are different today.
You get it wrong every time.
My fingers go the right direction now. What do you know? Okay, that's Amigo the North John. He's up there in Crookston, Minnesota. Say hi, John.
Hi, John.
Very good. Glad you did that. Martin's still with Mom for Mother's Day, and I lost the rest of the message. I think that was I'm not going to be there message from Martin.
Hey, you snooze, you lose.
It's Mother's Day in the UK.
It's Mother's Day today over there. Yes.
In the UK. So I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, to Martin's mother, happy Mother's Day. And to all you guys in the UK, because some of you will be with us on this show. I wish all you guys a happy Mother's Day over there. Lizzie Lou's with us. Hi, Lizzie. Carol's here. Good to see you guys. By the way, and I'm going to say it right now, Lizzie Lou, make sure you guys go check out her channel. She did a couple videos on the Valiant Lady. They're so good. I was just so impressed with her style and the way she does them. She did one on all the food on board and one on her cabin. I don't know. I haven't looked to see if it's got some other things up, but go check out Lizzie Lou's channel. That's and subscribe. That's and you're welcome, Lizzie Lou. You know, I really enjoyed that. So I'll point it out.
Bill's in the mail, Lizzie. He don't do nothing for free.
Oh yeah, send a check. Big check for the advertising.
What is that?
Cheers.
What are you drinking now? Look at. I got the official drink of the Cruise Amigos. What are you drinking?
This is the official drink of Amigo Chillie. And if I'm in a bar, I'm not going to drink water.
Does it have the preacher in it?
Or Diet Coke even. I'm going to have an adult beverage.
Does it have some of the preacher in it?
Say that again.
Does it have some of the preacher in it?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, okay. For those of you that don't know, he drinks Elijah Craig, and Elijah Craig was a Baptist minister before he went into the distilling business. And that's so correct. we are spreading the good news on a Sunday afternoon.
And you thought when you were baptized it was water. Okay. Now, Amigo the North John. I understand by the weather rooster that it was 10 degrees up there in Nanook land again last night.
But
that
it wasn't
correct?
10 below. It was 10 above zero.
John. Why are you up there? You need to get away from there. You need to come to Texas and grow rice. I went through 80 miles of rice paddies in Louisiana and Texas. You could quit growing those beets and grow rice. I mean, it's the same thing, beets and rice. It's the same crop, sort of.
No. One makes sugar and one makes a carbohydrate that you eat as a staple. Now, do you want a beautiful, 3-tiered sugary wedding cake kind of dessert, or do you want some rice, dude? Which one do you want?
Well, if you're eating Tex-Mex food, you need the rice, not the sugar.
We can make alcohol out of sugar. We can't make alcohol very well out of rice.
That's right. You have to have. I don't have beets in my bourbon, do I?
No.
That would be awful.
No, sugar. The sugar cane and sugar beets traditionally make the end product called rum. That is
okay. So now, speaking of rice, they do things different in Texas. I have found that out. So most of you guys know I stayed in I call it a flea bag, in a very inexpensive hotel last night.
Yeah.
It was a typical 1970-ish motel.
Hey, I can say it. It's the roadway in, and it's the chain, and they're just as you enter Galveston Island. So you know.
So that's where I stayed, and obviously it's a little worn around the edges. It's not brand new. The one thing that the only thing I really disliked about it, I mean, it was clean, it was comfortable, it had a television, it had a nice shower. It wasn't handicapped accessible, the room itself, but the hotel was handicapped accessible. So it just wasn't a handicapped accessible room. It didn't have a desk.
That's
so
weird.
That was the only thing I didn't like. It didn't have a desk so I could sit and work. So I had to sit on the bed and use the nightstand and twist around and say, and that was
wait a minute. Now, did it have an ironing board in the closet?
I don't recall a closet.
Okay, because if it had or you could have requested an ironing board, and I'm telling you, an ironing board, usually has an adjustable height, and you can sit on the bed and put your stuff on an ironing board. It goes a couple of feet this way, goes a couple of feet. Do I have to give you every tip, Chillie?
Well, where the hell were you last night when I needed it?
Seriously, an ironing board, if you're in a room without a desk, an ironing board, and if you feel bad, you don't want to put your stuff on the ironing board material, throw it, put a shower towel down the length of the thing. But I'm telling you,
is it catchy? I mean, ironing board, do you get this desire to grab an iron and start ironing clothes?
No, it will not. No. It's not a gateway drug for ironing.
Okay, no, that's good. As long as I'm not going to have to go start ironing my underwear and things.
No, it's not a gateway ironing drug. You don't have to worry about that. But seriously, and the neat thing is you can adjust it for height. And you can, if there's not a good chair. My problem with most of the chairs in the hotels is that they have these big arms, and it's like an airplane seat. It's about this wide.
Yeah.
But I'm sorry, I like to man spread when I'm just sitting around working on my computer and stuff. And that's what you call it.
Spread. That's because you're big and fat like I am. You're big and you're not as big and fat as you used to be, but you're big and fat.
And I mean, if I'm on the subway, I just take my one seat. I'm not the guy that takes a seat on either side of him. But when I'm, if I'm just sitting around, I'm not one that has his legs parallel in front of him.
Yeah.
So the bed is very comfortable, and you put an ironing board there, and you can put it for height, and you're set to go.
See, you just got to keep feeding me with this info.
And not only that, I mean, even if you have a room
every day.
Even if you have a room without an ironing board, I would believe that literally every hotel in America has an ironing board available for you.
Okay.
So
back to what I started saying 15 minutes ago. Texas does things different. So I left the roadway in and came over here way early because I wanted to make sure, I have some special need requests when the reservation was made at this facility months ago. One, a handicap accessible room.
Yep.
I always ask for ground floor if available, if not near an elevator.
One of two things, yeah.
And preferably in a handicap accessible room. So also with this particular reservation, I have they're keeping my parking my car for 8 days. Hi folks, parking the car for the 8 days. 9 days I'll be on a cruise, and the shuttle back and forth to the port. So I checked out at one place. I drove over here. It's 6 minutes away. I mean, it didn't take any time to get here. And I came in and went up to the desk, and the gentleman helped me, and everything's all hooked up, all set up just the way I wanted it, so there's no problems. And he said, because check-in is like 4 o'clock Central Time, and he said, look, check back about 2, and the room will probably be ready. Well, 2 o'clock, that's 3 o'clock my time. So I said, yeah, well, that's fine. I said, what about the Jiggers, the restaurant? It'll be open at 12. And I said, okay, well, that's only, a few minutes from now. So I went back outside. Matter of fact, I talked to John, told him what I was doing, and that I was going to be in the bar. so forth. And I went out and played in the sand on the beach. No, I didn't. I dreamt about playing in the sand on the beach, but my imagination was good. So I felt the warm sand running through my toes, actually from across the street, looking longingly at the beach. That's more truthful. So when the time for the restaurant to open, I hopped on my little scooter and I rode back inside. And because I'm going to sit, I'm using their table and a chair and looking out the window at the Gulf of Mexico. I mean, I'm going to order something. I'm not going to sit here and not pay for my space. So I got the menu, and they had a grilled chicken sandwich. Right, first thing on the menu. I said, "Oh, that's fine. That's lovely." It had bacon and guacamole and lettuce and tomato and I don't know what, and French fries. And of course, I did order my adult beverage, which, and to be perfectly transparent, I'm now on my second, and I may have more because I don't have to go anywhere today. So a few minutes later, here comes the sandwich. Now, that glass, folks, that's a 16-ounce glass. See how high and big that sandwich is? It has a half a pound of bacon, I bet. It has a huge chicken patty. It must have a quart of guac on it, and the guac was out of this world. And there's about 4 pounds of French fries. That's how they make a chicken sandwich in Texas. Okay. So now, in honor of Nanook of the North and the temperature up there, I am seriously fighting the fact that it is sunny here, but it's windy and cool.
Yes.
The wind is blowing and it's a little cut in the air. As a result, I am wearing my fur-lined G-string. Just so you're not uncomfortable, John, up there looking at me in this 81-degree cold weather.
Of course, what the question is that what people are dying to know about your fur-lined G-string is the fur on the facing out or is the fur facing in?
Oh no, it's facing in, so it gives me a little jingle with the jangle.
So then from our point of view, oh, come on, puppy. From our point of view, then it's a leather G-string. So
yeah.
Now, what leather is it from? I mean, is it like a rabbit? Like
kangaroo.
A kangaroo. Did you say kangaroo?
Leather comes from the butt of a cow.
Well, there ain't no fluffy side of leather on a cow. A cow has hide. It's a cow hide, not fur.
Okay, there you go with the technical stuff again. You know me. that's over my head. Who's in the chat room today? Let's see. Nikki's with us. Nikki from Jacksonville. Did it get cold over there, Nikki? It was supposed to get cold, and that storm coming across, that storm was a doozy where I was. As you lose this flea bag. Yeah. That's what I call them. And that's a slang term. It wasn't the literal term of a flea bag. It wasn't. It was a nice place. I mean, I'd stay there again. I mean, obviously, if unless it's just the outrageous price that this was on a Saturday night, this is a much nicer hotel.
But understand, folks, the difference is he is now on the Seawall Boulevard.
Yeah.
It's the hotel, some grass, Seawall Boulevard.
No grass.
Well, in the front of the hotel, there's not just a little grassy knoll?
No, there's bushes. There's shrubs right into the street. You cross the street and step onto the sand. Right.
And then across that is the Gulf of Mexico.
Yeah.
And that's Galveston Island is very long and narrow. Now, the hotel that he was at last night was at the Roadway Inn was kind of before you go over the last causeway to get onto the island. It's part of Galveston, but it's sort of just right across. And so he didn't have the ocean view. let me go deal with the dog. I don't know what's going on here, but let me find out what's going on. So you gotta chat.
All right, you know, I'll go see who's in the chat room while you go take care of the dog. It might be a bear or a moose or wolves. It could be the wolf. We haven't seen the wolf for a couple of weeks. Katie's with us. Hi, Katie. How's things down in Orlando? Sonny's here from Mississippi. Hi, Sonny. Carol says, clever idea, John. John comes up with all kinds of good ideas. Admittedly, I ignore most of them, but he comes up with good ideas. Of course, everybody's saying hello back and forth. How did you ever get that sandwich in your mouth? I sat on it. Literally. I smushed it down and still took stuff off of it to eat. And I tell you, I couldn't eat it all. I got 3/4 of it, I guess. And I didn't even eat.
Well, 75% is good, Chillie, because, you know, I know back in school, your grades were generally about 75, you know, points. So that's good. So
that's pushing it a little.
Why is that? Hey, think about it. If you eat half your sandwich, they'll say, well, you did a good job. But if you get 3/4 of the points on a test, that's a D. How can that? Why are they?
Yeah.
Why is that?
Hi, Gretchen. How's that thing's in Ohio? Michael's with us. How long was the drive from Conroe? Well, Michael, I got into some pretty hefty traffic. For a Saturday morning, there was one wreck, probably on the outskirts of Galveston. I mean, not Galveston, of Houston. And there was another wreck just right past downtown. So I got backed up twice. So it probably took me, let's see, I stopped for gas. By the way, gas was was down to $3.79, so that was the lowest I paid for gas now on this journey. I don't know. I'd say probably it was pushing 3 hours by the time I got to the hotel. Again, I wasn't rushing. I wasn't pushing in any way. Those of you that don't know, Michael and Donna Philippus had lunch with and Jack, our friend Jack was there. Unfortunately, Jack was having a really bad day Friday and didn't last very long. But Michael and Donna and I had a lovely afternoon, and there may have been some adult beverages involved. There may not, but there may have been. But we were at a very nice Tex-Mex restaurant in Conroe, Texas. Enjoyed that. So
nice.
Michael and Donna, I'm going to have them. We're going to interview them again because they have some splaining to do. They have some splaining about Norway and sleeping on an ice bed. And I want to save that for the audience, for them to splain about staying in an ice hotel and sleeping on an ice bed voluntarily.
Chilling. Just chilling.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't stand for that either. So, but that will be fun. So we're going to do that when I get back home and can get that set up. So.
Good.
So what's happening up there in Nanook land?
Well, I just wanted to tell you though, but you know, like if you're on a freeway, especially if it's kind of like at night and it's really, the traffic's really busy and everything, and you're just a little stressed because there's just too much going around you. I have a foolproof method to cut the stress in half, cut all the cars you see in half. Just close one eye.
Okay.
Things will get better right away.
I hear you. There's a guy outside.
Yeah.
With a trailer that says Ranch King.
He's coming to take you away. He's taking you to market.
I think it's a vendor for doing like wagon I don't know if they're horse-drawn or pedal-drawn wagons that I guess you can rent here and take them all around.
Ranch King is a brand of trailers down in Texas.
Well, yeah, the trailer is the Ranch King. I'm not saying he is Ranch King.
Okay.
That's what's on the trailer. He just unloaded. Unfortunately, the pole is between me and, but I see some wheels and like a Conestoga top on it. So
okay,
something over there got offloaded. So
can it get any better? You are in Texas. Are you going to get you some Q tonight? Are you going to go get some Q as your final?
Well, I eat Q quite often. I realized that down here it would be a little different. I've also been told to go to Guido's
would be
which is a quite famous seafood restaurant.
Oh, okay.
Here in Galveston, and quite frankly,
that's spelled G.
I can't imagine what I didn't even look at the menu on what they'd have here. In case I might get snorkered this afternoon and not want to drive anyplace.
Guido's, Gaidos, is the name of the restaurant.
Guido's.
And they're known as the Coastal Classic Restaurant down there.
Yes.
They received the Open Table Diner's Choice for 2022, like right now. So.
And they have shrimp and things on their menu.
They have, yes. They have lots of things on their menu. Let's see what I might like.
All right, now let's see how smart John really is. You've been to Galveston before, so you might know this.
Okay.
We'll see if anybody in our audience knows the answer too, because you can drop this one in the chat.
Okay.
The water off Galveston tends to be murky. Let's put it that way.
Right.
It's not like most water in the Gulf or the Caribbean.
Right.
Not that pretty blue color. Why?
I know why.
You know why?
Yeah, it's got a Minnesota origin.
Yes, as a matter of fact, it does have a Minnesota origin.
How's that for a hint, huh?
Yes, it does. I was really surprised at this one. It has to do with the silt from the Mississippi. Everything that's west of the Mississippi gets the silt in the water. And that's what
Gulf of Mexico
is not. Even though one might say the water's muddy, it's not muddy; it's silty.
But think of the Gulf of Mexico as a cereal bowl, and God's got a giant spoon, and He's slowly stirring it counterclockwise, and that's why the water comes. He's figuring it out, folks.
Okay.
It's coming up the Florida coast. It's going across, and it's going back down on Mexico. That's counterclockwise if you look at it from the heavens.
Okay, I see what you're saying now.
Giant bowl.
And what makes it go counterclockwise?
The trade winds. Because the Earth is spinning, there's a resistance to the air above it, and that's why the winds generally in North America come from the west and northwest, because there's resistance. The Earth is turning under the atmosphere, which appears to us to be wind, because the air is standing still and the Earth is moving under it.
Okay.
Do you know how fast,
Michael?
Do you know how fast you are moving in Texas? Do you know how the Earth is spinning so that if you were at the equator, you are going 1,000 miles an hour. Did you know that? That you are moving 1,000 miles an hour around the equator. That's when the Earth turns one time, the Earth is 24,000 miles around. We've divided it into 24 days. So you've moved in an hour at the equator. You have moved 1,000 miles around the Earth. It's turned that much.
Now, that one surprises me.
Now, where you are, of course, it's less. And where I am, it's even less. And if you were 1 foot off of the North Pole, not the magnetic North Pole that your compass points at, but the actual North Pole, that when you have a globe in your house and there's a pin through the North Pole and the South Pole for it to spin on, if you were, a foot from there, you would only rotate. You would sit on there and you would slowly just rotate for it take 24 hours to completely turn around. But when you're at the equator, you are going 1,000 miles an hour, but the atmosphere doesn't want to go with you. And that's what causes winds, which then, because of the heat of the water in the ocean and different amounts of sunlight, cloud cover, season, the angle of the sun, spring, fall, winter, causes trade winds, which of course trade winds affect us all no matter where we are, maybe subtly, but that's why this all happens.
All right.
Okay. And
I found it interesting that the silt only comes this way and doesn't go back the other way.
Because the Gulf of Mexico is spinning, and I'll tell you why. There's more attraction. If the Gulf is like a cereal bowl, the south end of it is closer to the equator. Therefore, it's actually moving faster than the north end. So there's more friction down there. And that's what causes the water in the south to pull to the east, which causes the circle to happen, which causes the water to go up the Florida coast, across Louisiana. What's the other city there? Mississippi, Louisiana, and then down Texas and Mexico.
Alabama, Mississippi.
Alabama's got a piece
Louisiana.
So you know your geography, but I'm telling you how that's what causes your and our weather. And now out in the Pacific Ocean, depending on how warm the ocean happened to be in a particular season, determines if we're going to be wet or dry for our winter. It determines our winter based on how many bazillion tons of water turned into air vapor, water vapor, and is up in the upper atmosphere. And that's completely dependent on La Nina or La Nina and Las Nina, or whatever those two events are.
La Nina and El Nino.
Yeah. One way and one the other way. And that's why this all happens. And that's your science lesson for today, folks.
Yes. And Sonny says it's warm Mississippi, grass growing weather time.
Yeah.
In Minnesota, Sonny, it's ice melting time almost. 4 more months will start melting the ice.
Actually, our ditches are flowing, but the river's not flowing yet. The river's just got the ice laying either, and there might be water on top of it, or it's laying on water that's come up, so the edges have water, but the ice in the rivers is still laying there. So, yeah.
He's mixing frozen margarita, maybe?
Almost like that. And you see, I'm a child.
You can hear that, right?
Oh, no, hardly.
Yeah, okay.
Hardly. The aggravating noise of your voice completely overcomes the beautiful sound of a margarita blender.
Okay. Well, I don't mind my aggravating voice, so that's fine.
But I'm a child.
Fahrenheit with blowing snow here in Niagara Falls.
Ooh.
See, Carol's up there like you are. You guys are nuts.
But Carol has a different problem. She has what's called
lake effect snow.
Lake effect snow. That's right. And that can carry way into the spring. It can start the season early in the fall.
Yep.
So yeah.
So sick of winter, she says 12 days to her transatlantic cruise.
Where are you? Oh, so that's got to be an eastbound then. You must be leaving from the United States. Oh, New York to Southampton. So that's going to be that's a 9-day run, maybe, probably. New York to Southampton.
Yeah.
Oh, Fort Lauderdale to Copenhagen. I would like
Princess.
To be on that one. That one I would.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
For my money, anytime that I can avoid New York, I avoid New York. And that's particularly, even if you're passing through the airport, the JFK airport, it's just a pain for anybody that's even down to a cane. If you're just on a cane, you're not disabled like we think of disabled necessarily, but you're on a cane. JFK is, in my opinion, absolutely the worst airport in the known world. And that's all of the Milky Way galaxy and a little bit of Andromeda here over to the left of us. Terrible place.
Yeah, they don't have accessible bathrooms on Andromeda.
I've never used the bath. I've only been on Andromeda, you know, really quickly passing through. So,
all right. So I do have some news on airports and flying.
Yes, talk to me. Where? First of all, where?
Those of you know that follow my schedule. I'm doing 9 days on Adventure of the Seas starting tomorrow. And then when I get off of Adventure of the Seas, I got to drive back to Virginia.
Okay.
Now, who knows how long that's going to take me. If I only do the, 4.5 hours a day, okay, probably into the fourth day.
Why don't you drive through Minnesota on your way home?
Because I got to go to Los Angeles.
That's right. He's got it. This is not the end.
I get home and I'm home like 3 days and I got to go to Los Angeles. So I hadn't booked the flights because when I booked the cruise, you couldn't get the fares.
Okay, now wait a minute. If you live where my thumb is and LA is where my little finger is, yeah, and right now you're where my middle finger is, why are you going from my middle finger to my thumb to get back to my little finger?
Because your little finger, your middle finger,
you're halfway there. Why don't you just go west? Da, 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 da.
Yeah, because then I got to do Seattle after that.
Again.
John, I'm not going to drive to Los Angeles. Number one, I don't ever want to see the 5 again with me behind the wheel of a car.
Chillie, you go in the middle of the day. My friend is in Redondo Beach. He'll take your car for you for the time you're on your cruise. He'll pick you up at the cruise port.
Okay.
I got boots on the ground, man.
Well, I have to wash clothes.
He has a washing machine.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to drive to California. And I'd be gone for 4 months. I mean, I have bills to pay. And
yeah, we can see how you do that.
I have a lot of crap I got to do at home.
We've watched that happen. Hire a temp. Have a temp go in and take care of that little detail. Come on, man. You're a man of the world.
Not to dispute John's. He's smoking that wacky stuff that he grows in the back room on the beet farm. I did not have a flight booked. And of course, prices have gone up on flying because of the gas stuff and the war and all this. Yeah, there's some pot. That's pot that John grows and he rolls it up and smokes it.
Hemp.
So historically, you cannot book a flight from either Lynchburg, where I live, that's the nearest airport, or Roanoke, which is only an hour away, because you end up paying double because you got to fly someplace before you fly.
Mm-hmm.
So, from Lynchburg, you have to go to Charlotte. From Roanoke, you have to go to Pittsburgh or Charlotte to go anywhere else. So you end up paying through the nose. As a result, I've always flown from Raleigh, Richmond, or Washington.
Okay.
It's cheaper. It's worth me driving, staying overnight, whatever I got to do. It just beats the hell out of flying out of Lynchburg or Roanoke. So this morning, I went out for breakfast. I got back to the hotel and I had a little while and I said, man, I got to do something about this flight to Los Angeles. And I got on Priceline and I started checking. I can fly from Lynchburg to Los Angeles cheaper than I could fly from Richmond or Raleigh. And if you take Washington was the cheapest flight, but if you add on for the drive up there, the hotel, rental for the car, for the the 8 days that I'll be gone for that one. It's right in the same, like $30 from the price of flying from Lynchburg, which is 20 minutes from my house.
Wow, nice. So do you walk over there then, or do you get a ride? Does somebody take you?
And I already told my sister she can get her ass out of bed in the morning for a change, and she and Jean can drive me to the airport and drop me off.
Yeah, nice.
They normally get up at noon or later. Okay. Yeah, no. They're going to get up one day early, get me to the airport, and I'll fly to LA.
Nice.
I haven't tackled Seattle yet. That's 2 weeks after I get back.
Okay.
But yeah, so I mean, yeah, it's more expensive than it used to be, but you're just not going to fly cheap anymore. It ain't going to happen. I was able to get all good seats. Yeah, I did not. Too cheap to go first class or business class, so I went, my usual coach. But I do have aisle seats where my left leg I can stretch it out, which is my bad leg. So I booked it. So the LA trip's taken care of now, and no, I'm not driving to LA, and I'm not driving from there to Seattle and being gone from home, for 6 months. So that's my news. I'm going to fly again. So next time I cruise, though, out of Florida or Galveston, I'm driving. I have enjoyed this sojourn immensely. And it was nice having, the capability of, I went out, and scouted around a little bit last night. I don't know a whole lot about Galveston, so it was just neat to drive around. I did a little driving around this morning just to check things out. Yeah, I'm not going to take time to do what I would have done if my schedule had been a little different. Would have maybe been to do a couple excursions here in Galveston while I was here. Well, that's not going to get done this time around, but we'll worry about that next time. So, all right, let's see. Where was it over here? 14 days was Carol's cruise to Copenhagen.
Carol, can we ask what your
ticket? New York and Chicago.
Can we ask what the ticket price was, Carol? And I know that there's other costs and stuff, but just what was the ship price for your 2 weeks? I'm curious. By the way, Chillie, I heard that the captain on your past ship always was greeting the customers, and that Chillie won't tell this story because it's embarrassing. But the guy in front of Chillie asked the captain if cruise ship. He was nervous, first time on a cruise ship. He said, "Do cruise ships sink very often?" And the captain told him, "Generally only once."
Yeah, only when fat guys get on.
Oh, come on. They have people to balance you out.
Oh, okay.
Just like in the all-you-can-eat buffets, for every portly gentleman that goes in and thinks he's going to win the game, there's 3 little old ladies that went in and had like a chicken salad. So,
yeah, it balances out.
It all works out. Yes.
Do you know what they budget for food on a day if you book on a cruise?
What they budget in their cost, you mean?
In their cost of what's your actual overall cost of food for a day?
$8. 3. No, I hear what you're saying, but think about it. I mean, in that day, I might be getting wings, unless they can source in an unbelievable way. I can't. That's really inexpensive. That's really inexpensive.
And trust me, this came from an inside source.
I believe you. I'm just, I would have thought
that is how cheaply they have negotiated prices down to buy stuff.
Wow.
It works out. And that's when they quit giving you lobster all the time.
Do you know that I've never been on a ship with lobster? I've been cruising seriously since 2015, and never once have a lobster and myself been on the same ship at the same time.
You haven't had a lobster tail?
Not on a ship. I've never eaten lobster on a ship in my life. Never.
Oh goodness, that's still one of my highlights.
I understand, but you pick these other cruises that I don't, you know, I'm not. Oh, Carol brought us some interesting information here. So on the cruise she's on, this is a 2-week cruise, Fort Lauderdale to Copenhagen. And the deluxe balcony cabin, $1,540 is the base fare. That's that advertised price. We all know that there's other costs, but per person. So that's just not a, that's a good value. I think
that's an excellent value.
Yeah.
She's also on Royal Princess to Alaska the end of May, 14 days round trip from Vancouver. She's going to be on Royal Princess, and I'm going to be on, what am I on? Quantum of the Seas.
Okay.
I want to say it's May 14th. Let me see. Where's my, let me look at that real quick. I think it's May 14th. Let's see. Chillie's trip calendar. I have to take one off tomorrow. That's right. Oh, no, it's May 9th. May 9th. Quantum of the Seas from Seattle. Stops in Ketchikan, Sitco, the Endicott Arm, Juneau, and Victoria. All
right. By the way, I have a what is that new cruise line? Bahamanian Cruises or whatever it's called?
Bahama Paradise.
Yeah. I have a story about.
It's now the Margaritaville at Sea.
I have a story about that ship.
Come on with it.
On one of their later cruises, they did a miscalculation on this $3 per person food per day kind of thing. And they did a miscalculation, and the captain came on. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. I'm sorry to inform you that there are 2,000 passengers on board, but only enough food for 1,000 people. However, they have plenty of drinks, so anybody that's willing to give up their meal will receive free drinks for the rest of the evening till they get to port the next morning." A few hours later, the captain had to come on and make another announcement. He said, "Ladies and gentlemen, it appears we've run out of alcohol. However, we do have 1,000 free meals available."
Yeah. John, you need to get where you can thaw out. Your brain is frozen.
It's getting more difficult, huh? Okay. 10 inches. Where's Kenneth live that he's got 10 inches of snow?
He's in Pennsylvania.
Ouch. Yeah.
I'm not seeing all of our chat here.
You're not. Who are you not seeing?
Emily's here. Hi, Emily.
Yeah. Kenneth, Carol, Gretchen.
26 days is too long for me. I'm a lightweight. We've determined 17 days with flight turnarounds and land tours is our max. I'm going to be gone 30 days total on this trip by the time I get home. 30 or 31, depending on how long it takes me to drive home.
But the big question is your sister and brother-in-law even going to know you're gone?
Yeah, probably, because I've called home, I've called home almost every day on land. I don't do it from sea. And sometimes, they remember it, sometimes they don't. But yeah, now that I've started harping at them about driving me to the airport next month, so there's something to keep hammering so that it is remembered. So anyway, Emily says, my sister and I were helping each other out in the garage. You were helping your sister in the garage, into the garage or out of the garage? Or were you like mud wrestling in the garage? We need more information, Emily. You can't leave us hanging in such utter suspense as to what you and your sister are doing in the garage.
Yeah.
And this could be a kinky story. Knowing Emily, it could be very kinky.
And utter, what did you say? You said it could be an utter what?
I don't know what I said. I don't remember from 1 minute to the next.
But did you hear about the cow that was involved in an utter disaster?
No, I did not hear about that.
Backed into a fence.
Why do they have golf carts around here?
Because people they don't need to use a car. They use a golf cart to run up and down.
There's a lot of golf carts. That's another rental thing. That's Galveston Golf Carts. That's the name of the business.
Because the temperature is usually balmy, and so you can be in a t-shirt and just hop on your electric golf cart and not pollute the atmosphere. Yeah.
John's dog said hi. The dog said hi a couple times.
Yeah.
By the way, was it the wolf or what was he barking at?
Oh no, I have a good friend of mine, kind of one of my quasi goddaughters is here, and she's just snuck in, and she has now got Ace in her hands, and he's basically sleeping on her
Talking
shoulder.
to the microphone, John.
I'm not talking in the microphone. Did it go away?
You were looking at your friend.
Well, I was, but I thought I was, doing this.
Yeah, so. No, we were hearing your ear. Yeah, and that doesn't sound very good.
So your nose runs and your feet smell. You're built upside down, so you could be hearing my ear.
That's correct.
Yeah, okay. Anyway, Sydney is here, and she's got Ace in her lap, and I can't turn my big camera around, so I can't show you. But
hi, Sydney.
Sydney, you're talking to people in Europe and Texas and Florida and all over the United States.
Yes.
Wow. She is a great young lady. She started to play the saxophone, but she didn't decide she liked it. She's also a gymnast. She can do the back flips, like she can just be standing and then she can flip over backwards and then keep right on talking to you. You've seen that? Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah. I used to be a gymnast.
Oh yeah.
I was on the rings, those ring things that you flip around and stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, I fell and landed on my head and broke my toe.
My joke was that I turned the rings into ovals.
Yeah, mine wasn't a joke. It was a true story.
Oh, you fell on your head and you broke your toe.
I fell on my head and I broke my toe. Yeah.
Sydney,
broke my big toe in 4 places, as a matter of fact.
Sydney says that's not possible.
Oh, yes, it is. Yeah, you can ask the people at the UK Med Center because that's where I went. They thought I was nuts until they looked at my toe. They didn't believe I fell on my head to start with.
Gretchen, your question, who does backflips? Well, Sydney, can you just roll over here? Can you roll over here with your chair? My longtime friend and business partner has 3 lovely children, of which Sydney is the youngest, and here she is. And
there's Ace too.
Today, and here's Ace. Of course, everybody knows Ace.
Everybody knows Ace.
But Ace just loved. Sydney has a real special way with animals.
Well, I thought Sydney was going to do a backflip with Ace. Now that would be interesting.
Oh, I have them on video doing that. Her and her sister. So I will get that for next week.
Okay.
I will bring up the videos for next week. But. So that is Sydney. She's awesome.
Finally, Kenneth's comment about the 10 inches just popped up on mine. Why is my chat so far behind?
There's 15 below Kenneth's 10 inches of snow.
Yeah, well, I know. I'm working through them now.
They're all in the snow underneath Kenneth's 10 inches of.
Gretchen says, I feel it's my duty to spend as much money as possible before I die.
Gretchen, I can help you with that. I can make you feel real good about that. Talk to me about the Angel Fund.
You can adopt me, and that would do the same thing as the Angel Fund. Emily says our snow is gone. Bye. Someone said no booze. I'm jumping ship. And sup to the next land. Sup. That's stand up paddleboarding.
Is that what that is? Is that what that's called?
Ship. Oh, if someone said no booze, she would jump ship and stand up paddleboarding to the next land. Okay. It took me a while to figure out what the hell you were trying to say, Emily.
We'll test that out, Emily, out in the middle of the Atlantic on one of our transatlantics. We're going to test that out. Yeah.
John, that price is in Canadian. Oh, that's in Canadian dollars too. That $1,500.
Oh, so then it's really a good value because it's about 15% right now.
That would knock it down to $1,275 or something.
Yeah, man. So even if you had no solo supplement, you had to go as a solo. If you could get on that ship for 2,400, you'd be good. So yeah,
that's nice.
So Emily, if SUP is stand-up paddleboard, what's sit-down paddleboard? Is that also SUP? Is it like if it's a big S, it's a stand-up, and if it's a little S, it's a sit-down?
I don't know. I think they call that surfing.
Surfing? No, surfing is not done.
That's when you lay down on the board. That's
surfing?
Well, I mean, you get on a wave and you lay down. Didn't you ever surf before?
Not laying down.
A wave on a surfboard. You're on your belly.
You know what happens? You go to sleep too early in the show all the time.
And then you stand up. I mean, you get started laying down and then you stand up.
Everything we do in this life gets started laying down.
Where'd we go? I just moved it.
Emily,
Emily Snow is all gone. Good heavens.
Yeah.
I got something wrong with my chat bar. Can't post. I don't care about you can't post from. Why is it doing that?
Yes, spending the kids' inheritance skiing. I've heard that, Nikki. That's funny. And Gretchen said, my kids have more money than me, so not a problem. Hey, that's neat. That's neat.
Chillie's talking about boogie boarding.
Yeah. Of course, Chillie's kids have more money than him too. But, $100 would cover that. So that's not really an issue here. So he spent all his money on, if he didn't spend it on the cruise ticket, he's trying to drink them out of Elijah Craig in the bar. So either way, it's a loss for Chillie. I mean,
I got to keep the preacher going.
He just needs to have enough money in his pocket to get the car out of Hawk at the port so he can drive to an ATM.
Yeah, no.
Carol, me body surfing would be like a tugboat trying to pull water skiers.
I hate to say this. I've never gone to an ATM machine. I don't even know how they work.
I haven't.
I mean, I know you put your credit card in.
You put your debit card. You put your debit card in, put in a pin, and then you ask for money, and it gives it to you back. And no, I don't either. I carry euros because in Europe and where the euros are taken, most people use cash. So there's always 500 euros running through my wallet. But as far as American dollars, I think the 20 that I got in there is, I think it's got a 1910 date on it or so.
Well, I very rarely ever take my wallet out of my pocket.
Oh boy, I got a bunch of comebacks for that one.
I keep a stash loose in my pants pocket, not in my wallet.
Yes, he's got a loose stash in his pants pocket. I've heard that line before. Yeah. At the casino, do you carry one of them little
money
cups?
And stuff is in my pants pocket.
Kenneth, are you old enough to remember pesos before they devalued the Mexican peso and you needed a wheelbarrow full of money to go to the Dairy Queen? I think they traded it out $1 million for one, didn't they, or something like that?
Yeah, it was some ridiculous amount.
Yeah. There was a time in Germany, after the war, that if you had a wheelbarrow full of money, there was more BTUs in burning the money than there was in buying wood with the money.
Now, see, you were screwing with me, and Emily she confirmed it. You start on your stomach, then you stand up when you're
And that's
surfing.
what I said. You fall asleep too early in the show, and you've never seen anybody actually surfing. You've only seen the beginning. So you got to stay up later. You got to stay up later.
What time is it?
It's just about time. We should talk about cruising a little bit so we can tax deduct this. So you are. Let's get a rundown now. You are getting on what ship tomorrow?
Adventure of the Seas, Royal Caribbean. I'm testing the Royal Caribbean waters once again.
And you are going to the Western Caribbean then from here?
Oh yeah, we're going
Good.
west somewhere.
And that's 9 days. So you'll be with us from the ocean next Sunday.
Yeah, next Sunday I'll be from the ocean, and
then you're coming. You're going to land on Tuesday or Wednesday. Are you then driving home at that point?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're driving home, and then once you get home, you're home for a few days. Then the big flight out to Los Angeles.
Yes.
And there you're going to do a western side of Mexico cruise.
Yes, on Navigator of the Seas.
On the Navigator, okay. That's one of the last.
I'm going to go see if Liz Taylor turned me down the first time I went to her house and asked her if she wanted to have a glass of wine. I'm going to go back and see again.
All right. And then you're going to come home again from LA. Then you're going to get in an airplane and you're going to fly right over me to Seattle.
Yes.
And that's where you do the Alaska run.
Yes.
And so then about when is that? Is that in May here now coming up?
May 9th. So I'll fly on May 8th.
Okay. And then you're home from that. But there was a time you had 17 cruises booked. So what do you got going yet?
Oh, yeah. Then it just keeps going. I think after that's Freedom of the Seas, a back-to-back group cruise with JJ Cruise. Oh, I'll tell you. Don't run away. I'll tell you exactly what's next.
He's got his little list up on Chillie, the handicap guy's website. So,
where is it? There it is. Okay, yeah. Get back from Quantum of the Seas. That'll be on the 17th of May. Then I've got a whole month at home. It's June 27th before I leave on Freedom.
Oh, I say we fill that in with something. There's got to be something out of Baltimore. You can.
Oh yeah,
definitely.
There's a month in there. I'll find something. I'll find a bargain cruise someplace. Maybe could be out of Mobile too. Might be out of Jacksonville.
Might be out of Duluth. Might be out of Duluth, Minnesota. We just never know.
You never can tell. But yeah, I got a hole in there that needs filling.
Right.
So then I do Freedom of the Seas, and then in August I do Hot Air Tom and Cindy's, and I are on Norwegian Sky.
Wow.
And then October, Serenade of the Seas out of Tampa. And then leave Tampa and run over and do Margaritaville at Sea out of West Palm. And jump back in the car and drive back to Tampa and do Carnival Paradise. That's all on one trip, those three.
Wow.
And then in December, I'm on the Seascape inaugural out of Miami.
They're going to let you drive the boat there. Then they're going to let you drive the.
Well, I'm going to negotiate that with the new Seascape captain.
Wonderful. Stay with us, folks. We're going to get lots of Chillie's adventures. And of course, the highlight today was seeing your chicken sandwich, of which the chicken was kind of the smallest part of it, even though that was huge. So everything's bigger in Texas.
Yes, it is.
We'll get a report from you. Of course, you won't be doing your show tomorrow then, or how's that going to, what's happening?
No, I'm going to do the show. I just don't know how and when yet.
So there will be a show tomorrow to find out about getting on the ship. 9 days at sea. Next week from the ocean.
I'll have my news show at 11. Okay. I just don't know if it's going to be live,
right?
Or if my shuttle to the airport's at 12. So I probably am going to tape the show early. You might have to run the show tomorrow. We'll see.
Think of me as the cruise prostitute. I'm always available for a price. So,
yes,
absolutely.
Just keep adding it on my bill. One of these days, I'll pay the bill.
And I do not expect to get paid in Elijah Craig, I might point out. I want to get paid in real Russian rubles. None of that.
Wait a minute. that's just like paying you in the new funny. What's the new funny money? The Monopoly money.
No, that's worth more.
What do you call that stuff?
Monopoly money.
No, cryptocurrency.
Oh, crypto. No, you can always pay me in Bitcoin.
Bitcoin, that's like Monopoly money.
If you think it is, then it is.
Elijah Craig is worth more.
I got flowers for your trip, so.
Okay. All right, guys, we've wasted a whole hour of your time today. And Amigo Martin, sorry you weren't with us because I was planning on giving you hell because I know
Happy Mother's Day, because we were gonna, we were gonna give Martin a Happy Mother's Day because he's a real mother. So anyway.
Yes. All right, guys. That's going to wrap us up for another week. We'll see you next Sunday on the Cruise Amigos live from who knows where. Later, y'all. Thanks for being with us.